Big, round, boulder shoulders. You know the ones I'm talking about. They're just one of those things, like big arms or chest, that they just embody the strength, manliness that a lot of us guys are looking for. So some of us have those just genetically or through hard work, and some of us don't. If you're in the latter category, don't worry, because today I'm going to go into how the shoulder works and how you can get shoulders like that. Let's get into it. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome back to The Leading Man. Today we're talking about shoulders. It's one of those things that it's just hard to build for a lot of people. I had a hell of a time with it. And now I have a few tips for you and ways that we can work around that problem. So when it comes to the shoulder, they're not like other muscles from the standpoint that it's not a big muscle. It's not just one big shoulder muscle. There's actually small muscles that all make up the shoulder. Unlike your chest or parts of your back or legs where there's just this big chunk of muscle that you can work, it's a lot of small muscles and they have a tendency to get neglected in certain ways. You build one part and not another, or something along those lines. So today we're going to talk about how the shoulder works, how to work each part of the shoulder, and how to get those big shoulders that you're looking for. Alright, gentlemen, if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. It's been a little bit since I've done a video and I'm kind of new to this, so bear with me. Okay, talking about the shoulders. So there are three main parts of the shoulder. Number one is the anterior or front of your shoulder. You have the lateral or side, and then the posterior or back. So instead of one large shoulder muscle, you've got three smaller shoulder muscles that all kind of extend down over the top of the shoulder. The anterior or front generally gets worked pretty well, because anytime you do a pushing motion, you do a bench press, you're using dumbbells, anything that you press with, you build that front delt or shoulder muscle. So what ends up happening is you end up getting this imbalance. We've got a pretty decent or relatively developed front shoulder, but the side and the back, especially the back, get neglected, and you don't have that big round shoulder you're looking for. So today's focus, for the most part, is going to be on the side and the rear of your shoulder. So, talking about the side and rear of your shoulder. The front of your shoulder, like we said, is for pressing, but the side is for lifting your arm like this up to your side. What that motion does is it shortens this muscle. It's the contraction. So as this pulls in, your arm comes up. Make sense? Same thing for the rear. The rear of your shoulder is for pulling. As you pull your arm back, mostly your elbow back, it contracts that muscle and pulls the shoulder back. That has a tendency not to get worked as much, because when you do pulling motions, a lot of the time you do it with your back. And so as your shoulder blades go back, you're using all these muscles in your back instead of the rear of your shoulder. So that's how it kind of gets neglected. With the front of your body, and that front shoulder, when you press, it gets recruited in order to work other exercises that you do with your chest. So in order to make these work, we're going to have to do a little bit of tweaking to your workouts. So let's get into a couple exercises that I do and why I think that they might work for you. Alright, exercise number one, lateral cable pulls. Now, I like the cable machines because, unlike a dumbbell or other weight, when you have the I said too many times. When you lift the weight up, gravity is what's holding it down. Well, as you come back down, then gravity isn't really pulling on that shoulder anymore, because your arm is straight. Now it's just kind of resting on the bones. That's why you can carry weights at your sides for a lot longer than you can out here, right? So I like to use the cable machine, and you pull the weight straight up like this. Because the cable machine pulls in both directions, right? As you come up, there's resistance of the weight coming down, and then as you bring it back down, that weight is still there as the weight is still in the air. You don't get the little bit of rest, that little bit of cheating that you can do with a dumbbell. Now that being said, I still do dumbbell raises, same way. I like them, you just have to be a little bit stricter with the form. Now let's move on to the rear delt, because that's the trickiest one, in my opinion. So rear delt or shoulder muscle. I keep saying delt. If you don't know what that is, it's a deltoid. That's what the muscle is called. But it's your shoulder. So that rear deltoid or shoulder muscle is for pulling purposes. Now, a lot of the time, like I said, we use our back and we don't end up working that muscle. Now, this does not mean do the same exercises you normally do and try and feel your shoulder pulling. It doesn't really work that way. Keep doing your back exercises. Don't stop doing them. What I like to do, personally, is I add in a deltoid or shoulder specific exercise. And what that is it's a lightweight. It's not heavy. Don't try to grab some big heavy dumbbell or cable and yank it in the air. You end up using your back. That's what your back does, is it lifts heavier things than your shoulder can. It's a smaller muscle. It's not designed to lift that much. So grab a lighter weight. I think I'm using 15-pound dumbbells right now, and I've been doing this for a while. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a rear deltoid raise. That's kind of when you bend over and you lift them up behind you with your arms straight. The lighter weight, if your arms are straight, allows the deltoid or shoulder to work and your back not to have to get involved to lift something really heavy. Now, you really do want to feel, blah 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 blah, can't speak, you really do want to feel that shoulder working, that rear part of the shoulder. If you don't, then you're doing something a little funny. Maybe you need to go down in weight, maybe you need to keep your arms straight and you're not keeping them straight, you're bending them like this. Either way, there's some things to work on there. If you need help, feel free to send me a video of you doing the exercise and I can try to assist you. There's also a lot of great channels here on YouTube that have wonderful information on exactly how to do these exercises and how to make these work. Alright gentlemen, I'm going to go on to the last little bit here, talking about shoulders and how to get those big round shoulders. Sadly, it's everyone's least favorite part. Alright gentlemen, now for everyone's least favorite, diet. And I don't mean go on a diet. I mean, if you're not eating enough protein, enough foods that are going to help you grow, you're not going to build muscle. It's just how it works. It's unfortunate, but it's true. So make sure that your diet is on point and that you're eating for the correct amount of growth, not just eating everything in sight. I've done that too. It's fun, but it doesn't work as well. Make sure you're eating an appropriate amount in order to grow. If you don't eat enough protein, if you don't eat enough food as a whole, you're not in a surplus, it's going to be very, very difficult to build muscle. You'll still build definition, you might still even get stronger, but you're not going to get the big round shoulders that you're looking for that really fill out the shirt, give you the V-taper, and it's just not going to be the way that you want it. So, my advice, since you're here, I'm assuming that's what you want, is look into diet. If you want, I'll do a video on it. Let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions, also let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, you know the drill. And when it comes to the shoulders, you have to be patient. They're small muscles, they don't grow incredibly fast. Give them time. But if you keep at it, do an exercise for the side, do an exercise for the rear, and I personally don't do any specific exercises for the front because they get worked really well when you're doing chest. And overhead press. Overhead press works both of the side and the front. Great exercise. I recommend it. Other than that, keep at it, be patient, and you'll get there. Let me know how you liked the video. If there's anything that you think I can work on. I am rather new to this. any advice or comments would be great. So let me know down below, and if you want to link to some of the channels or other sites that I personally look at on YouTube for, you know, how to do particular exercises or who I would recommend, let me know. I'll put them in the description below. Otherwise, have a good day, gentlemen, and I'll see you next time on The Leading Man.